It's 11 o'clock. Let's get going. Guys, I'm super excited today. These two guys are just, a lot of fun. They're top producers. They're superstars out in Calgary. I'm going to say this again. I've said it before that anybody out of Calgary, much respect, because you guys have been in such a doozy of a market that anyone who can make it through that kind of market, you are a superstar. I don't care what you say. And these two guys are on track for over 100 deals this year. Last year, they ended up, I think, with 45 transactions. They're going to double their business this year easily and effortlessly. And we'll talk about how they do it today. So without further ado, the YYC Real Estate Group, Mr. Jason Manarintr.
Manarintr. Everyone's like, where's the E? Where's the E in the TER at the end? But yeah, Manarintr.
Okay, good. I didn't butcher it. Okay. Well, welcome, guys. People want to know who you are. People, we all want to learn how to build better relationship with our clients. But do tell us, where do you guys sell real estate out of? And how long you've been in real estate? How did you get started?
You want to go first, Jay? Should I?
You go first.
Yeah, so we are Calgary-based realtors. We kind of got into the industry about like 7 years ago. So that was kind of like the pinnacle of like the recession in Alberta. Like the oil and gas was just teetering at that point, and it was just on the downside of things. So I kind of got into it pretty much at the beginning of the drop. And, looking back on it, that's kind of the only market that I've ever known. So, I mean, what really pushed us in joining up together was we're actually like childhood friends, right? So, and as the markets kind of started to change, we were kind of like, why don't we just join together and hit this real estate game up together? Because I found that when you're doing it on your own, it's not as fun as if you're doing it with someone else. So once we kind of joined up together, we, put our minds together on things and just, brought our experiences from both sides as independent agents together as a team. And I think we've kind of really flourished on that because like Jason and I are very different, but we do things very differently. But when we come together, it creates like one symbiotic relationship that creates like a really good team atmosphere. And that's kind of how we've been kind of crushing it, because we just work off each other's energy. And like when he's killing it, I'm killing it. When he's killing it, I'm killing it, right? So it's like we always trying to keep that motivation and progression for each other. But yeah, we focus mostly on like the southwest of Calgary, which is kind of where we grew up. So we know the community well. A lot of our friends, a lot of our families, a lot of our clients are all based in that same area. So we like to focus kind of what we know and where we know. And a lot of the times that people want to go back into that community just because it's kind of what they knew growing up. So even though a lot of our friends and clients, they moved downtown to work in downtown jobs, they've ended up coming back when they started building their families and stuff like that. So that's kind of where we focus right now, is the southwest quadrant of the city.
Gotcha. So more suburb, or?
Yeah, it's kind of like border of like inner city suburb. So like there's like a transition line between the two. So we kind of work in like throughout that from the inner city and suburbs.
Nice. So 2014 you started. What about Jason?
So I actually was a mortgage broker first.
Oh.
And I just wanted to get into real estate. I was an accountant, and then I dropped out of school, and then I was like, yeah, this is not for me. School is just, what am I doing here, right? And read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, as we all have.
Yeah, that is the book.
And I was like, okay, how do I get into real estate? I know nothing about real estate, And at that time, I had a friend's mom that was a mortgage broker, and I was like, hey, I'm going to get my mortgage license. So I did mortgages for about four or 5 years, and then I was referring deals to realtors. And then I realized how much money they were making. And I was like, what am I doing here? You know, I was like, and I was actually going out with clients, looking at houses as their mortgage broker.
Oh,
So I was like really into the real estate, and then I got my real estate license. I told everyone to wait till I got my real estate license before buying. So I had a lot of deals lined up before I bought with these clients. And then that kind of set me off into the real estate.
Yeah, I was actually one of Jason's clients.
Yeah.
oh,
I was actually doing real estate and mortgages, like the same deal. And I was like, this is too crazy. I wasn't happy with doing the mortgages. And then, yeah, I started doing real estate. And then me and Dave were kind of doing our own thing at the beginning, because then he got his real estate license after, right? And I wanted to check out a different brokerage. He came to our brokerage, and then I kind of left, and then it just kept saying like, when are we joining up, man? When are we joining up?
nice.
And then we just finally, I don't know what happened, but we just partnered up. How long has it been, Dave? Like 3-4 years?
2017 we joined up. Yeah,
Okay.
so because what I found was like we already had the same demographic and we grew up with the same people. So it's like if we merged together, you would give people like no option essentially. Especially in our group, it's like if we consolidate our minds and our resources together, then like now we have like a team, and the people only have one choice to choose from, which is us.
That's
So
awesome.
like it was just kind of like a no-brainer for me, but it took some convincing for Jason, I think, to actually do that. So I didn't give up on him for about 2 years.
There you go. So 2014 you started, Dave, but Jason, you started doing mortgages first. So when did you get into real estate yourself?
About 6 years ago, I would say.
Okay, so
Yeah.
15.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
no, 6 years ago, and then 4 years before that, I was doing mortgages. So yeah, 10 years collectively in the real estate. Yeah. So
Well,
I
you guys-
I had my mortgage license when I was 23, and I'm 33 now. So yeah,
Good for
about
you.
6 years. Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
what a journey. So you guys, for being at the age where you guys are at, are very, very successful for your age group. You know, from what I know, I'm going to talk about this again because I just find it amazing that Calgary agents keep with it.
Mhm.
Now, that's all you knew, but how did you get through that tough market? Because it was like going like this.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Like, I mean, I don't know any difference because I've never experienced a good market. So I just kind of focused on like training myself, you know, taking the courses, Brian Buffini, Richard Robbins. We did a lot of like self-development as well too, just to understand ourselves better. But we also wanted to create like kind of work off what Brian Buffini was saying, was like working by referrals, which is like being a relational realtor instead of a transactional realtor.
Gotcha.
So what that means is like creating solid relationships with all of our friends, clients, family, whoever we could, anybody we met. It wasn't based on the transaction, it was based on the relationship with the person, because when you have a good relationship with somebody, when it comes back to real estate, you're going to be top of mind no matter what, right? So we didn't want it to be like, hey, if you know anybody that's looking to buy or sell, like we're the ones to call. Like we just made it about them and about the relationship with them, and if it ever circled back into real estate, then we would be the guys to talk to. And it was never about a real estate transaction or a conversation about real estate. It was always like, we are in real estate, but we're not here to just sell you real estate. We're just here to be like friends and relational with you.
Yeah.
And if it ever comes to real estate, then like it's kind of a no-brainer at that point. So
I think also like, yeah, we kind of just, this is the market for us, so we have nothing to compare to. And I also think what sets us different is we're actually very heavily into real estate also. Like we do property management, Airbnbs, investments. So we like, we're just not selling and buying real estate. You know what I mean? And I think that's where we, we give a lot of options to our clients that I feel like, not your typical realtor might not know,
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
we've really diversified. We've diversified a lot.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So on top of, really being relational in your approach to clients, you're also in the real estate market doing Airbnb yourself, rental property management, and investing in real estate yourself.
Mhm.
So when you advise clients, it just comes natural because you're doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Like it's based on our own experience and like knowledge of it, because we're actually in it ourselves, right? So like we can advise for first-time home buyers, or we can advise for someone that's looking for, a multi-rental unit, because we've done it before, right? So that's kind of how we are advising, is based on our own personal experience on stuff. So, and we're always trying to like find the next thing to kind of test out, and then like if it works for us, then we can also advise on it for our clients.
I would say for me too, it's definitely helped that I had my mortgage license. It's very easy to talk about numbers and deals and like what makes sense, and like pretty much anything with mortgages, right? So I feel like the more knowledge like the more options you give to clients, and they like that, they appreciate that.
Got it. So really coming from a contribution point of view and giving advice, and not just straight up asking for business. Because David, when you talked about, who do you know, or do you know anybody who's looking to buy or sell, I ran my business like that for 13 years. So thank you for putting me down.
We don't ask that. We used to ask that, but we didn't feel like that was authentic,
Yeah, it has to become authentic to yourself.
Yeah.
But I'm just kidding. So you guys are crushing it this year, and we want to know how. Like, I know the market's good, but there's something that you're doing differently that has created a lot of momentum this year to be able to be on track for 100 deals. What are you guys doing differently this year?
I think it's a combination of just like planning and like consistency. So like every November, we actually plan out the whole year.
Oh,
Right?
love it.
So we plan out like the whole year of marketing and planning, and what we want to do, events that we want to do, more engaging things to actually bring our clients together while we're actually closing the deals. But we also have like a schedule of when like listings, we want to prepare for listings. So we want to have conversations maybe like 2 or 3 months before the busy period of listings start to come out. So we did a lot of preliminary planning from the year before, just to see what worked, what didn't work. And then we had like a team meeting in November, and then we just like plan for the whole year in advance, so that like when things are coming up, we're not doing things last minute, and then it ends up failing because we don't have enough time to actually plan it out. But especially right now with COVID, like it kind of threw a wrench in all that stuff, because we like one of the biggest things that we like to do is that we like to throw a couple events a year. So 1 year for the clients' kids, 1 year for the clients themselves, and then we're actually doing a dog event at the end of May, because a lot of our clients have pets, right? So but with COVID, we're trying to plan things that are a little bit more COVID friendly, that are outdoors, and just like engaging, so that it's you actually bring your clients to you, instead of having to see like each individual client for a coffee or like lunch or something like that every day. So we try to do like more event stuff, but a lot of it came down to just like planning itself, and like having a good plan and executing it, and staying consistent, seeing what works, and then seeing what doesn't work, and then cutting that out, and then just kind of keeping consistent with what works. And so that's kind of how I guess we've planned it out, and just being consistent with it. So
I also think like definitely the market has helped, but we were prepared. And I think we do a lot of like, I would say social media plays a big role, trying to just keep posting out everything. But the busier you get, the more you forget to post, but just trying to be consistent with it.
Yeah.
Because you just never know who's watching you, right?
Yeah.
And when they're ready, they'll see it and then they'll give you a call, or they see that you're doing things, they'll give you a call, right? And I think that's what really helped us. And then also having like, we just hired an agent that joined our team, Jason. We had Errol, and other agents are looking to join. So we're starting to learn how to delegate. Because we're going through like a huge growing pain right now, because we're like, we've never been this busy. What are we doing? You know?
Yeah.
And now we're starting to learn like, okay, well, what is the best thing to do with your time? So we're really trying to delegate more things that that other people could do for us.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Kind of like what you mentioned, like that one thing, right? Yeah. So it's like, what is that one thing that you enjoy doing that is a part of the business? So why don't you spend more time doing that one thing that you actually enjoy, and then delegating the tasks that maybe are less enjoyable to someone that could do it for you, so that you could actually focus on what you do enjoy during the business. And for me, that's like lead gen and relationships and having conversations with people and stuff like that. But you still have to obviously close the deals as well too. So it's a combination of like what you do enjoy and what actually needs to be done, and then delegating the rest.
Oh man, I love that. There was a lot there. Just gonna like reiterate a little bit, because if you guys, if you are not ready for the market to go bananas, for example, if you don't have the manpower on hand to service those clients, no matter how hot the market is, you're not going to catch that wave. You're not going to be able to service that, and you're going to lose clients as a result. So there's something big there that Jason said, was they were prepared.
Yeah.
Luck is opportunity meeting preparedness. And they were prepared for this type of volume coming in, although, you know, they're still experiencing growing pains, but they were prepared. And they even said, you know, David said, preparing in November for the whole year. How many of us on the call do that? I would say a lot of people would be shaking their heads. No, right? So that's huge, right? So there's a reason why, on, you know, on top, besides the market, why you guys are crushing it. So
yeah, if this was like when we first started 3 years ago, we would not be ready for this.
Yeah.
But like, what happened in the last 3 months? Like we banged it out and we got a lot done. And like I was thinking, I'm like, man, if this was 3 years ago, me and Dave would not be ready.
Yeah.
Because I think it took us this long to just build that good, strong foundation of just like even partnership business and how to do business and how to, like, you know, we do have an assistant, you know, how we're delegating. I think without that, like, it'd be very hard to handle what we had to handle last 4 months. So definitely prepare.
Definitely preparing, definitely planning. If you're failing to plan, you're actually planning to fail, guys. So every
that's Dave's favorite quote.
Is that right? Wow.
Yeah, it is. It is.
There you go. Every November, guys, you got to remember the year starts. Next year starts this year, November. Whatever you're doing this year, November, will close in the next year. So you actually, your year starts then. So if you're starting to plan your year January 1st, you're already 3 months behind. You're a quarter behind, right? So these guys get it, right? Plan, and prepare. So then when the opportunity comes, like this type of market, they're ready to just run. Okay, so you guys been grinding for a while now. Tell me, what's driving you forward today as real estate agents to keep going when you're like working so much?
I think just finding balance, actually. Like that was a huge thing for me, was like, okay, especially right now during COVID, like there's not much else to do outside of work. So I think just finding that time to like for personal time, just to recharge, because with how crazy the market's been, that's like something that we haven't been doing, was like taking breaks and also celebrating our successes. So like we're just kind of like it was like really present to us last week during our podcast with a client of ours. They're just saying like, you guys aren't celebrating hard enough for these things. You're just kind of brushing it off. So it's like you don't have these milestones that you like that should be celebrated normally when you're succeeding. So when you're doing that, it just kind of becomes like monotonous and like mundane because it's the same thing over and over. But once you actually take that time to be present with what you've done and what you've achieved and celebrate that, then you can keep on going forward because you actually you have like a point that you can reference, right? So that's something that we have been working on pretty hard, is like celebrate, even if it's like a 30-second celebration, like at your desk, like just like, or a quick call and just celebrate with your team, you know? So
you got to acknowledge yourself. You got to acknowledge that you've done something great.
I think that was a huge thing that was missing for us. Like we were just, it was just nonstop, right? Like every day, showings, closing. It's just, we wanted to serve the clients. And I think at one point, me and Dave were like, what's happening? Like we're like, why don't we feel as good closing the deals as we used to?
Wow.
You know? And we had a good conversation. We're like, yeah, we got to celebrate. And a huge thing for me was like, who am I being? Like, because we were, for me, I was like stressed out, right? Because it's just like so much was coming. I was like, who am I being right now? And who do I need to be to not be stressed out and to actually have fun with all of this? Like, I need to change who I'm being now, and for this to work. So I really had to look at myself and be like, okay, yeah, like if this is the way it is, I need to change my thoughts on everything. So I had to change everything.
Yeah, mindset.
Yeah.
You guys are so smart. I just like you
Well,
guys
we got a lot from your podcast too, John, when you came on our podcast.
really.
So,
Well, thank you. Yeah. We'll talk a little bit more about your podcast at the end of the call here. But again, like you guys have a lot of tips and tricks. It's such great nuggets that you've already dropped. And again, congratulations on the big production. Keep crushing it. What does it look like for you, Jason and David, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years in the business? What's your vision?
I think it's gonna grow. Like we didn't expect to have it grow this fast, but I know, like me and Dave were talking. I think we realized it's going somewhere big. And I don't know, Dave, if you could answer that question. I just know like it's going somewhere. I don't know where yet. For me, I don't know for you.
Great
Dave.
question. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think we've actually even sat down and talked about like the 5-10 year plan.
Got to plan it out.
I know we're planning yearlies, but we should actually implement a 5-10 year plan as well too, just to see where we can like what we can create, what we can project for that. So that's actually a really good question. But I for us, we would like to obviously grow the team and create a more a management role for us. And just kind of oversee things and support like our team and our agents and stuff like that in the next 5 years. So I think that's something that maybe we should discuss with you, because I feel like you're already years ahead of us and you've got your stuff going on. And
well, in age, yes.
Maybe we need to sit down and chat
some
about
pointers.
what
Getting
the
older.
next 5 or 10 years looks like for us. But I feel like it's going to get busier.
For sure. Well, yeah, definitely something to talk about. And I love to jump on a call with you guys and just like mastermind together. What's your why? What's your why, Jason, David?
Dave, you could answer that first.
Sorry, what was that?
What's your why?
My why is actually, what the big thing for me is actually educating clients about just like, I don't like to use the word financial freedom, but just creating wealth and freedom, I guess, through real estate, because I feel like that's what I'm more into, is the investment side of the real estate stuff, and actually like creating a portfolio building a portfolio that would create passive income for myself and my family, so that we don't have to work as crazy and hard as like everybody normally does,
Right.
like in a 9 to 5, right? So I feel like the ultimate goal would be to like teach people how to invest in real estate, so that they create generational wealth for their kids, for their families, and they have something to leave behind without having to work hard for their money instead, and just work smart and have their money work for them. So that's kind of my why.
I love that. I mean, coming straight out of the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, we're all trying to strive for the rental income, the passive income to sustain our lifestyle. Should we not be able to work anymore physically, right? So you're actually going out there and helping people with that. Good on you, man.
Thanks.
Jason, what about you?
Yeah, I think the reason for all of this is, I've realized as a realtor, if you're not selling in real estate, you're not making money. And I think that's where the property management business side comes along, where it's slowly growing. And the Airbnb, where you get passive income, right? And I think that's the ultimate goal is, have enough passive income where you don't need to work.
Yes.
Like, I'm very grateful because I don't really feel like this is work. Like, we love what we do also, but having that choice where it's like, if you want to leave for 2 months, you can, and I think that's the ultimate goal for us, and why we keep, trying to grow the company. Because I think I don't know where I heard this, but it's like, as a realtor, you're a technician, right? Like you're just doing real estate. But if you grow a team, you actually have a business where you don't need to rely on just buying and selling.
Yeah.
You have people to support you, and you could leave, and it's a business, right? And that's the end goal, right? To not always be selling real estate, I would say, even though we love it, but having that choice.
I definitely see the passion in you too, man. And I just want to say again, man, at your age, to be this smart, just awesome. I wish I was as smart as you at your age. Man, dude, we have 2 minutes left. Time's running out, but I want you guys to give one piece of advice for the audience to have them crush the rest of the year, 2021. Go, Jason.
Take full responsibility for your life. And
are you landmarking me right now?
take full responsibility for everything in your life, and that will give you the power to move forward. If you take full responsibility for everything in your life and realize everything is happening for you, have that mindset, everything's happening for you, not against you, or it's everything that is happening is for you.
Wow, you're a beast, Jason. Thank you for that. David.
For me, I think mindset is everything. So like, your only limitation in your life and in your business, in your world, is actually mindset. So if you don't think that it can be done, it's actually a mindset problem. So if you want to step outside of your comfort zone, because like they said, greatness is just outside of your comfort zone, you need to change your mindset to create that new world, to be successful in that. So like, that's a big thing for myself that I've been working on is mindset.
Mm-hmm. Dude, you guys, I see nothing but big things ahead for you guys, like exponentially bigger than what you are right now. I'm glad to be speaking with you now at this stage, to see you grow exponentially in the next few years. So congratulations in advance. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How can people reach you, send you referrals, property management, or join your team, or follow your podcast? Where do we find you?
You can find us on yycrealestategroup.com, Instagram, davidlu.realtor, jasonmanarintr.realtor. And then our podcast is called Behind the Business. That's on Spotify, Audibles, and also on the Apple Podcasts as well.
YouTube. And John is actually episode 30.
Yay.
If you guys want to listen to John's story, he's on episode 30. So
Awesome, guys. Well, hey, I can't thank you enough. You guys have dropped so much gold within 30 minutes. This will be live on Facebook and it'll be on replay, and this will be on my podcast as well. Guys, follow these two for more and reach out to them if you have any buyers or sellers or want to join their team. Guys, make it a great day. Thank you again, David and Jason.
Thank you for the opportunity.